I'm Supraja. I currently work for Optum Global Solutions as a software engineer. I'm basically a full stack Java developer. I've done my undergrad from University College of Engineering, Osmania University, and I grew up in the United States of America. And I moved to India when I was in high school. And apart from this, I play cricket, I read books, and I bake, and I do art as well. So the attire which I chose was business formals, and the interview was actually very comfortable and it was very pleasant. Basically, my interviewers were very nice people and very sweet. And it was more like a conversation and a discussion. Like it wasn't like an interview atmosphere. They made me feel really comfortable. So I panicked a little before, but after going into the interview, they were very nice people. So I just conversed with them and it went really well. So apart from tell me about yourself, the next question was what is my role at work? What do I exactly do at work? So that was the question they asked. So it was like mostly I had questions from my essay. So I basically mentioned in my essay that I was a part of TEDx Osmania U and I took part in Infinity, which is a national tech symposium. And I was actually responsible for marketing these events. So I had a couple of questions regarding them. I wouldn't say there was anything unexpected, but I had a question about how I would market ISB's women's cricket team. So they just compared that marketing and gave me a situation. So I wouldn't say there was anything unexpected. It was basically focused completely on my essay. So it's basically like for my preparation for the interview, I had a couple of conversations with a couple of ISB alums, and I wanted to take up tech consulting. Like I'm really interested in tech consulting. So I had a couple of conversations regarding what are the aspects I'm supposed to focus on and what sort of questions may be asked, what are areas which I'm supposed to improvise myself in. And after that, I did a lot of research on the ISB website to get information about what are the various clubs which are there in ISB, about the various professors, and what are the recent activities as well as the recent events which took place in ISB, so I could get myself a complete picture about ISB. And apart from that, I also noted down all of the important life events which took place because it basically helped me form answers about what was my biggest accomplishment in college and what was my biggest achievement, what was my biggest challenge maybe in school. So that really helped me. And I also went through my essay and my application a lot because that's very important. Like you have questions regarding that in the interview. And I would also say that Preppie played a very important role because I took a couple of mock interviews before my main interview. So in those mock interviews, I got a lot of feedback and suggestions from Preppie. So basically, I was in a rush a little in the beginning to answer the question. And I thought it is important to give the answer as soon as they ask you a question. But I got a lot of feedback from Preppie that it's important to process your thoughts for a couple of seconds. You can take a step back and analyze the situation before you give the answer because it's important to answer correctly rather than answering fast. So that was one area which I improved and I was focusing on for my preparation. Another thing is they told me basically to have proper clarity. Like for example, there were a couple of aspects where I was missing on having clarity in the answer. So you could always question back to the interviewer if you're not you don't know what they're referring to. Like that's what made my interview more of a conversation and a discussion rather than an interview perspective. So I would say Preppie played a very important role in that as well. And also having a proper structure to your answer, like following the STAR approach, which is situation, task, action, and result. That also helped, and taking all this feedback. There's also another aspect, which is having proper clarity on your goal. What are your backup plans? How would ISB help you achieve it? And why can't you do it without ISB? So I took all this feedback and I implemented it. I focused on it and I executed it in my interview. So I would say that was also a very important part that Preppie helped me out. And through all of this process, through all of this preparation, I could give it for my interview. Well, as I mentioned, it helped me a lot. And I also took the interview preparation kit, which is like the interview training. So basically in that particular interview preparation kit of Preppie, they follow this, they help you give a particular structure to your answer. They tell you like what sort of questions may be asked. They help you improve on your answers, that you're supposed to follow the STAR approach, and having mock interviews before the actual interview. Like before I thought I was prepared for my interview, but after getting a lot of feedback and suggestions, there were many areas where I had to improve on. So I'm sure it would help my friends as well, as they are very experienced people in Preppie and they help me out a lot by giving me different suggestions. And I'm sure that's that played a very important role in me cracking the interview. So that's why I would recommend it to my friends as well. Well, I had one question for the interview panel, like if they could sum up their experiences, their learnings, and their memories from ISB in just one word, what would it be? So that is my question.
Okay.
The interview was like for about 25 to 30 minutes. And basically, the last question they asked me was like, I'm from the United States. So I had a question about like at what age I moved from the United States to India. And like, where did I live in the United States? So it was more about my background, like where I'm from and stuff, because I mentioned this as well in my essay. So well, after my interview, I felt I did do good because I went through my essay and my application in and out, and I did a lot of research. So when I had questions related to that in my interview, I could answer them, and I think I did answer well. So I did feel good, and I got some satisfaction because I worked really hard. So once the interview went well, you know that feeling, right? That you feel really good. So if I would look back, I don't think I would do anything differently as such. That's basically because I think, like, in the minimum amount of time that I was given, I think I gave it my best and I utilized my time at most by taking these mock interviews, by taking the interview preparation kit, going through my essays, talking to alums, going to the website. I think, like, that was something that, like, I did a lot of stuff in the minimum amount of time, and I think I wouldn't change anything. So I think I gave it my best. So, when you compare the mock interview and the interview preparation kit, the mock interview is the interview preparation kit. You give your answers and they give you the approach, how you can change your answer. Like following the STAR approach, they give you that, like, I had my interview preparation with Tadasmi call, and I'm very thankful for that because I had a lot of suggestions, a lot of feedback which I took back from him. And I would say that it's different because they give you a structure to the answer, what sort of important questions you're supposed to focus on or you're supposed to prepare for the interview. And mock interview was basically different because you had, like, it was just a practice interview. So it was like they would ask you a couple of questions and you would answer them, but this is actually like preparing your answers, what sort of areas you're lacking, how do you structure your answer better. So it's like a training sort of thing. So I think that's the only difference. That would be something like a practice form. And this is where they train your answers, make it better. So, okay. So the tips which I would give is it is very important to know what you put in your essay, and you should know in and out about it, because whatever questions they ask you in the interview, I'm sure you will get many questions from the application from your essay. So I would say you should know in and out about the essay. And the next thing is you should have proper clarity on your goal. You will have a lot of questions about how dedicated you are towards achieving the goal. Why can't you do it without ISB? Why do you need ISB to achieve your goal? So how dedicated you are towards it. And another important thing I would say is maybe if you talk to a couple of alums, you can get a lot of information about many aspects. They'll make it much easier about what areas you're supposed to focus on. And also, like, I would also recommend Preppie because it helped me a lot, like all these mock interviews and the kit, the training preparation kit, it was really helpful. So if you work on all of these aspects, and I'm sure you'll crack it, do not panic because they're the sweetest people. So I think that's about it. And I'm sure you guys will be able to crack it.